All right, let's go in a little different direction here. Let's do some little gouache studies, okay? Because they're fun. So this was done in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, maybe. And this one was done in an hour and 20 minutes. This was a demo. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw this little box. So one of my students did a favor for me, and he made this with a 3D printer. And the cool part about it is it was unintentional at the time, but in this case, it really matches this paper size. So this is fun stuff. I'm using it's this kind of Kona gray. It's premium recycled. It's just fun, and so I can use this for color keys, storyboards, color scripts, all that stuff. So we're going to paint this, which is one of my favorite locations. And I printed this because Corey says that I have to show you all what I'm painting from. So I'm going to move my computer so it doesn't get wet. Remember, I want everything to be kind of like you're in my studio, so it's a little bit more chaotic. Because I don't sit here and plan every little thing. It's like, oh, I better move that. So we'll put the water over here. It's just one of these from Costco. Italian biscotti. It was good. Okay, so let's just grab a pencil and do the composition. If you notice, it's kind of S-shaped. Think of the compositions as escalators. So an escalator in the mall, if you're going in the mall, and you're on an escalator, you can move down really slow and you get to see everything. You get to wave to your friends. But if you're in an elevator, you're gonna go straight down. So the elevator will be with these telephone poles, but also probably some clouds that I'll put in later. Center of interest to be here, so that's probably where the clouds are going to go. Here's my horizon over here. So these guys are going to come over the horizon. A little mountain in the background, so that's fun. We can make that bigger. And you can see we have these real pretty S-shapes. So that's what I like about it so much. So we come down this way. Go like that. That went off the screen, off the field, but we can go like that. And then we have another one here. And then this will go over the top of the hill like that. These are really fun. These little pieces of wood, an old fence that's going to point in. And then I want these bushes to point in this way. And then the escalator will be clouds, and then probably some rain clouds off in the distance. So that'll give me my elevator. This will give me an escalator. And I can put, I can put some clouds over here too. So that'll give me a V shape, S shape, elevator, escalator. Okay? So when we're painting, if you notice my little palette here, we paint with gray, so you can see all these grays. Once you get past all your color theories, that's interesting. Once you get past all your color theory, what I'd like to do is have you think about it as just a bunch of gray. So if you're going to start, with green, everything's green. So I have a student, her name is Michaela, and she's adorable. She's so cute. And I get to see her since she's a little kid. But she's getting really good. She's getting ready, in her mind, she's getting ready for college. She has a way to go. But boy, is she talented. And boy, is she smart. So, but it's so funny because she asked me, where did green come from? Because I always paint with green because I like it. And you don't have to really have a lot more reason, then you like it. Unless you're on a movie. If you're on a movie and the art director tells you what to do, then you do it. Establishing the DNA. But she asked me, where did green come from? I had to think of something really stupid really fast. And I told her it came from the Bible. And she just sat there and looked at me like, what? I said, well, look at, when Moses talked to this burning bush, I don't know, it seems kind of weird to me, kind of sexual, but anyways, it's in the Bible. But he's talking to some burning bush. I mean, in LA, that would be a porno film. But the bush was green, right? Because it's a bush, right? And when he parted the Red Sea, well, water's green. So I thought that was kind of cool. And if you go to the Garden of Eden, well, that was all green. And I had this whole theory. And she just looked at me like I was out of my mind. It was so cool. I had a great time. So I have a good time. Every week I have to figure out what I can say to get her to give me that look that my grand dog gives me, which is, huh? So it's really fun. Okay, so basically everything is just grayed back. And just tinted grays. Yeah, so I have a good time with that. They always ask me, where'd it come from? Where do you get this from? I go, movies. Really? Yeah. Well, watch a movie and whatever they do, go opposite. It's not that hard. So we're keying this, so I have to add some green to the blue because you want it to be keyed. So we go like this. And then we'll paint the negative space between the clouds. Because the gray could be the gray of the cloud, because that could be fun. We just have to add a little white to it. So always think positive and negative space. They're always the same. I'm going to tell you an almost true story that really never happened. Okay? We're moving along pretty good here. There was this kid, and he was studying to be an artist. And he never paid attention to his negative space when he drew. So he's always drawing and he's not paying attention. Now, unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst to him, all of his negative space had this very distinct shape that he didn't see because he wasn't paying any attention to it. Now, by sheer coincidence, across town, there was a serial killer doing what serial killers do, which is killing people with spoons and, cereal stuff. And so what happened is, we keep getting this glare, it's killing me. I can't get rid of it. I'm going to tilt this up a little bit and see if it works. So across town, he's doing what serial killers do, and he's killing people, with spoon stuff, And after he was done murdering his victims, oh, that's pretty cool. That works. After he was done murdering his victims, what he would do is he would draw with their body juices on the wall, this very distinct shape. Now, by absolute coincidence, the shape that he drew on the wall was the same shape as the negative space that this kid wasn't paying attention to. And it was a perfect match. It was weird. Like, you'll never see a match like that. And it was with that evidence that the prosecutors used to prosecute this poor kid. And he had just turned 18, so now he's being tried as an adult, and today he's doing 20 to life, And every morning he wakes up and curses the day that he didn't pay attention to his negative shapes. Do you believe it? Where do you get those stories from? Okay, so I'm mixing a little brown, a little warm with the green. And now, because this is kind of gouache stuff, what happens is the brush strokes really make a difference. So the brush strokes have to guide your eye. So let's see what we have. The light's going to go this way because I want to have all these shadows on the road. So let's go. I'm going to have the center of interest up here. That poor kid. It's sadder every time I tell the story. Do you believe it? Do you believe any of my stories? These little kids come in and they're 9. They're so cute. And they're like, where do you get these stories from? They ask me. So funny. I asked one kid, I said, well, take out your phone, take a picture, then you can draw from the picture. And she looks at me and goes, Sheldon, I'm 9. That's cute. Oh, you don't get a phone when you're 9? It was really funny. I'm only 9. It was really cute. So I like the kids. They're fun. Okay, so we got that way off in the distance. Takes them a little while to get to the idea of the school and how we do, then they just start having a blast. I make them walk around. I make them touch all the stuff that adults wouldn't normally let the kids touch, like touch the still lifes, touch touch the desks, because the school is designed for the kids. And every time something falls, I go, oh, I know what that sound is. So it's really cute and it's really fun. Okay, so we got that. Now behind that, I'm going to put in some mountains. I want to bring out this, I want to bring out the road. So there's going to be some trees here. But you notice they're all just a bunch of tinted gray. Then, if you paint the whole thing with tinted gray, then when you want the audience to see what you're doing, we call that killing Bambi's mom. So when you know where you want to kill Bambi's mom, then you put the complementary colors, and that will guide the eye. Boom, the viewer's eye goes right where we want it to be. So it's like a box shape. So you just think of it as a box shape. Also, there's going to be a lot of texture here. The texture will bring the eye. I'm kind of getting lost in it. Okay, so we got that. We got this. Off in the distance, we'll put in some mountains. Okay, let's leave that alone for right now. So you got this kind of a V shape here. It's kind of a grayed out yellow. There's a little chalky look in the picture, but I don't want it to have that here. Okay, now we're going to go stronger with the color towards the foreground. Just darker. Then in the foreground, there's clouds above us that's casting shadows. Not just in the background, they're over our head too. So we put those in. And that's going to point, we're killing Bambi's mom here, so we want to point to it. So we can go like that. You know, you got this scene that's all set up. You know, Bambi's mom's going to be running across and you'll hear the gunshot. So you want to know where it's going to happen, you know, because otherwise the audience is going to look the other way. So this is a road. It's going to turn and go back. So there's an escalator right there. Okay, so we got that. Okay, now we're going to put in some white clouds. And usually on my phone I have, you know, a whole bunch of photos of clouds, but I don't. I'm using my phone to shoot, so let's get these clouds to point to Bambi's mom. So we'll come down here, so it's an escalator. We use the gray of the paper to help us with the clouds. Now here's an elevator here. It's going to go straight down. Now I want to bring out the mountains, so I'll go wider behind it. So you're always playing with the, like we say, that poor kid with the negative space. Just to that. It brings out the mountain. Now, if I'm going to put in what's called a flat area, don't paint it like you're painting a house. My old painting teacher, he wasn't old, he was a young guy, Brian Eastman, great painting teacher, great guy, great friend. I wish I knew what he was doing today. I'd love to say hi. A great guy. And he used to say that the painting should look like a mosaic. So put the brush strokes down like it's a mosaic. And Vilpu does the same. If you look at any one of Glenn's paintings and you were to take the actual, take a part of it and just look at it, it would be like a fine art piece, like a representational fine art piece. And you step back and it's just gorgeous. So, as we say, Glenn Vilpu is the greatest living artist today. Next would be Bill Perkins. Okay, so we got that. All right, so now I want to bring the eye in, so we're going to kind of make this not so much energy. Okay, so now we're getting the pure color in here. So it's all gray, except for the part where we want the audience to go. So for you art center people, just go camp out in Bill Perkins' class and don't leave. So see if we get that light there. We really want to get this. Let's really put some light here. Here's a calcite. Cool. Bring the eye back. Okay, so I'll work on that. We can't have this go too far. So, okay, so now we really want to bring the eye to that center of interest. So now I'm going to use more pure type color. Has nothing to do with any other part of the composition. So kind of an orange. So those stepping stones to come down here. We'll walk across. See, so we're stepping. Okay, so we got that. So complex, simple, complex, simple, complex. I really want these poles to stand out. Get the color back. It's going off in the distance, atmospheric perspective. So it's going to go here. Okay. Now we need a shadow. So I'm going to add some red to the green. Now there's some that warm, in my white area, and what that's going to do is going to warm up the clouds, and that will point down to here because this is warm and that's warm. Okay. I really like painting clouds. It's my favorite. So we're at 37 minutes for study. So figure if you're doing this professionally, I think one of my students was telling me he does like 1 an hour. Well, here we're doing 1 in 37 minutes. I want to add a little bit more detail, but for the most part, it's a color key. It kind of works. So these brush strokes carry you up. Okay, it's getting a little too much busy there. So what you can do is just take your brush, put a little water on it, and just run over it. Because it's gouache. You know, if it was acrylic, you couldn't do that. And watercolor either. Watercolor would get, you know, it would get worked. You know, but with this, it's an opaque medium. So this oil, you could till it dries. Pastel, you can. It's opaque. Okay, so now this is simpler. So go simple, complex, simple, complex, complex, simple, complex, simple. You know, just work it. Light's coming this way, a little bit of shadow on the mountains. And that's it. Okay. Just a little study. That was fun. Okay. So we'll do some different stuff.